Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Oh man, I was getting ready for the top 5 power forwards.
Okay. You talk me into it. Let's do it.
Already got this far. Might as well finish it out, man.
Forwards. Yeah. Okay. Let's finish it out. Okay. So, if you're first time listening to the podcast, we have done a point guard, shooting guard, and small forward top 5. We do our top 5 of all time, and then we do a top 5 of the ones that we've seen so far in our lifetime, which is from about 2000 on for me, and for you, it's a little bit, 2005 on or whatever. So, Isaac, give me your top 5 power forwards of all time.
Tim Duncan 1.
Yep.
Kevin Garnett 2.
Okay.
Dirk 3.
Okay.
Kevin McHale 4.
Okay.
And Charles Barkley 5.
Okay. Interesting.
Only reason why I have Barkley 5 is because he doesn't have a ring.
Yeah.
But you have to have Barkley in top 5.
Yes, I do have Barkley. I do not have McHale in my top 5.
Really?
Yeah. So let's see here. McHale. Okay, let me give you my top 5. I have Tim Duncan.
Yep.
Karl Malone. Kevin Garnett. Dirk. Barkley. So our top 5s are basically the same, but I have Malone.
You have Malone over McHale?
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's just McHale, man. That dude just had such long arms. Oh no. I like Malone, but he got no rings, man.
Yeah, but he lost to Michael Jordan. I'm not gonna twice. So
yeah,
it's
John Stockton. Stop it.
Jordan had Pippen.
So yeah, the best. Yeah, the best.
Dennis Rodman.
One of
the
best point guards. Yeah, one of the best point guards ever. Got to win a ring. Especially in the year when Michael Jordan wasn't in the league.
Well, you maybe could make that argument. I would just say I don't know. It's he was MVP twice.
Yeah.
For first 11 times he was the all NBA.
And he did score a lot of points, but it's just him marrying that or getting some 13-year-old pregnant, bro. You can't be in my top 5, bro.
Okay, well that's fair. I keep personal stuff out of it. I'll be honest. I keep the personal stuff out of it, but that's a fair point. If you want to make that argument, listen. If you do something I consider creepy,
you don't got rings. You don't got rings. You don't got no. Barkley's better than Karl Malone. Just wish Barkley. If Barkley had rings, Barkley would be top 3, top 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, got KG too though, because KG and Tim Duncan, whoo! I used to love those battles. I got Dirk 3.
Yep, Dirk.
So I think McHale 4. Obviously Barkley's better than McHale, but it's just McHale got rings, man. McHale got rings.
As long as you're consistent, with your arguments, that's all I care about.
And I've been consistent. Haven't I?
You're consistent.
There we go.
Honorable mentions I put down is Hayes, McHale, and Pettit.
I like Pettit too. Yeah. And AD is a very honorable mention. It's just his career's not done yet to, because AD does got a ring. I mean, it's a Mickey Mouse ring, but AD is a good. AD's been balling, bro.
Yeah, he's been good this year.
Yeah, and Dennis Rodman too. I mean, he's another honorable mention, but he wasn't really he wasn't really a scorer. He was more of a rebounder.
Offensive player. Yeah, I was gonna say his offensive play I could never put him in top 5.
Yeah,
because his offensive play was not great. So.
No, but he was, bro. Boardman gets paid though.
Oh, I get. Yeah, his defense too. His defense too was so good. That's part of the reason why Karl Malone never won a ring is he was being
and if you
fronted by Rodman.
If you're getting exposed, you deserve to be in the top 5.
Well, most every player has been exposed.
Tim Duncan's
Yeah.
been exposed.
I said most every player has been exposed.
All right, who out of your five and my five? Who? Well, I already just said Karl Malone got exposed in your top five, Ryan. But who else out of? Because we both have KG, Dirk, and Tim Duncan. Out of those three, which one of those three players have gotten exposed?
You remember Dirk Dallas Mavericks that were the number 1 seed who lost to the number 8
But
seed
that's a
Golden
team.
State?
But that's a team. I'm talking about actually like he got shut down.
Well, I don't think Malone ever got shut down by Rodman. I think Rodman. I'd have to double check. I'll be honest. We'd have to look at the stats. But I'm pretty sure it was just that Rodman just made Malone work way more harder than any other player.
I guess because
Right?
KG and Tim Duncan they had their battles, but I remember KG saying this on a podcast that the way he used to get in players' heads was talking trash and getting into their
Mhm.
heads and stuff like that. So KG was always the one exposing players, but he said the only person that he could not get to was Tim Duncan.
Yep.
You know, so that's
Because
what I'm saying. Like, can't
Timmy's
get it,
so
Tim
good.
Duncan. Unbelievable.
And what's hilarious to me is Tim Duncan is so underrated.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh
he'll never.
no! I just messed up. KG did get exposed
See,
by
everybody gets
by
exposed.
Bonner.
Yeah,
Oh,
everybody
I
gets exposed, my
forgot.
man.
Oh,
Everybody does.
no.
Most everybody does, I should say. There's a few
I
that
forgot
never
about
get
that.
exposed.
Oh,
So,
but KG's
like,
a dog though, so he makes up for
that-
it.
no, yeah.
'Cause you ain't-
Don't feel bad, man.
Oh,
I'm
man.
telling you, if you look at everybody's career, there's a point in everybody's career where most everybody gets exposed.
Yeah,
Very
that's
few
true.
players don't get exposed.
I don't know. Karl Malone
Yeah.
was. I don't know.
Listen, if you want to make the personal argument and get personal, I can't argue. I'm not going to sit here and defend anything. I'm not defending that. Okay, I won't do that. But I have like statistically how long he played, how good he was. Yes, he had Stockton, but like everybody needs somebody, so it's hard to be like, oh, he had Stockton. It was like, well, Garnett needed Pierce and Ray Allen, so and Rondo. Like, I'm not going to sit there and knock Malone because
But him, Sam Cassell, and Sprewell, they were dogs. He won MVP in his Timberwolves days.
Oh, no. Yeah. I agree. But he didn't win a title. We're talking about a title. Like Malone got to the finals twice and lost to Michael Jordan, the greatest player of all time. I'm not going to be like, well, he's trash because he couldn't beat Michael Jordan.
But
Like-
he had one year where he could have, Ryan.
They didn't make the finals that year, right?
I don't think they.
That was
I don't think the Jazz did they make the playoffs?
I'd have to check.
Was that in 95?
94,
94?
95, both those years, I think.
I gotta look now.
Okay, I'll let you look, but I'll tell you this. If they made the playoffs, great, right? Like, but again, it's just hard because like I don't know. It's
Well, who in 94, 95 was a threat though? The Rockets.
the Rockets, yeah. Olajuwon.
Oh my goodness! Then he definitely doesn't deserve to be in the top five.
Oh, come on, stop it. Olajuwon was amazing. Kenny Smith. You don't remember those teams? Come on.
Absolutely, but that's
Come
what I'm
on.
saying. If you're a top five, you got it, bro. You got to beat these. You got to beat these.
I'm
guys,
not saying all
man.
time. I'm not saying all time.
In your era, you got to beat the. You got to beat.
Well,
you got to beat.
Olajuwon's a top 5 center. When we get to the centers, he's going to be a top 5 center, right?
Well, that's
like-
what I'm saying. Wasn't Karl Malone considered a center? That's what
No,
I'm
no,
saying. Like
power
some of these
forward.
guys are
He was a power forward.
really. Who was
Yeah,
the Utah Jazz center then?
Was Easton? Was that the guy
Easton?
at the time? Yeah, I think so. Now
Okay.
you're gonna make me do research. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, this we
'cause-
can make it 10-minute part, and you're like, no, I need to know these things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I like knowing the facts.
I agree.
Like
I do
knowing the
too,
facts,
but
Ryan.
I like to know the facts in a timely manner.
I just like I always thought Karl Malone was a center. I always thought, I mean I knew Tim Duncan was a power forward too. I always knew Kevin Garnett was. But like Tim Duncan, I thought he was more of a center too. You know?
No, they had Splitter, they had David Robinson, they had
Right,
different.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So according to Basketball Reference, the center was Greg Foster or Adam Keefe in 96, 97. In 97, 98,
Oof.
it was William Cunningham and Adam Keefe again.
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
where did I get Easton from? So in 96, let's see if they made the playoffs. They did make the playoffs. They made it all the way to the Western Conference and lost the 7-game series to the Glove and Sean Kemp. So they did make the playoffs that year.
When Michael Jordan wasn't in the league.
This was the year actually he came back halfway through. And
He
they
lost
got-
to Sean Kemp.
and Gary Payton, yeah.
That's
then-
inexcusable.
And then
That's inexcusable. The Supersonics.
wait, but you just gave Dirk a pass because his team lost to the Warriors. Who was on that Warriors team that was better than Dirk?
But Dirk beat LeBron James. That's all
that
null and
happened.
void. He
I
beat
know,
the
but you
Big Three
can't.
Heat.
No, you can't give an excuse for one dude that
Yes,
you're not
I
going to give an
can.
excuse.
Yes,
no,
I can.
No, that's not.
You
consistent.
can't even win a title when the greatest player of all time's not even in the NBA anymore.
What? I can't do this with you. I just. What are you talking about? I don't
Dirk
like.
beat
And
the
then
best player in his team, the Big Three in Miami.
and they needed LeBron to average
So I don't
17
care
points
about
a game to
I
do
don't
it.
care about that Warriors series. Dirk made up for that. Karl Malone hasn't made up for anything, and Karl Malone joined Shaq and Kobe. Let's not forget
He
that
did
too.
with Gary Payton. Yeah. The year before they made the playoffs and lost to the eventual championship Rockets 2-3.
I can't have Karl Malone in my top 5.
Oh,
Sorry.
come on. It's ridiculous.
Nope.
I thought Malone played. Oh, man. I'm killing myself. Am I thinking of the wrong player? Man, I thought I knew more about the history of basketball. I'm ashamed right now. I am so ashamed with myself. Okay, Mark Easton. Okay, he was on the Jazz. Okay, but he played with Malone. Okay, well, okay.
Right,
I'm
we
not
should have
as
just
dumb
been
as
born
I
in the
thought.
70s, bro. We
I
would have
know,
been. We
I
would have
know.
had all this knowledge and information. We would have been the old heads.
I know,
we could have
right?
called it the Old Heads podcast.
Yeah, you got to have Karl Malone in top 5. I don't understand it. Whatever. But
He had a ring.
You could be. It's not all about rings.
Yes,
Rings are part
because
of it.
Barkley. I
You're
think
the
Barkley is a
You're the
better
reason why
better
Durant
ringless
went to the
player
Warriors.
than Karl
You
Malone.
are the reason. You are the
No.
reason why Durant went to the Warriors.
No,
because you're
I
like,
am
oh, he
not.
don't got a ring. Don't got ring.
No.
It's like stats.
He could have got a ring with the Celtics.
team
He could have got a
sport.
ring. He could have got a ring
It's a
with
team
anybody
sport.
else.
No, he
and he
couldn't have.
still could have
No.
got a ring with
No,
the
we're
Thunder.
gonna have a debate this
I don't feel bad for
offseason
Kevin
about it, and
Durant.
I'm gonna just
Alright.
dunk on you,
No, you're not.
tomahawk it.
And I'm a
Yeah,
Tiago
like on
Splitter you. Ugh.
Okay, so let me just tell you my top 5
Yep.
power forwards that I've seen. I said Tim 1, Garnett 2, Dirk 3, Giannis 4, and Gasol 5. Those are my top 5.
Oh, that you ever seen.
That I've seen.
Gotcha.
Live,
Okay.
like actually play
Right,
on
right.
TV.
Ooh, Gasol's a
What
good
about
one.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say Tim Duncan, Garnett, Dirk. That's so hard because I really liked Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, he was.
Um,
I love Wallace too, but
I
he was
loved
just too
Rasheed Wallace.
inconsistent. Is the
Yeah,
problem.
he was inconsistent. Man, Paul Gasol got to be in there too. I would say Paul Gasol 4 because he really helped with the Kobe. But I would have to go. I'm trying to think in the 2000s. Let me just do research, guys, so that I'm not leaving anybody out because there's
See,
so
this
many
is why
good.
I have research notes.
That's
You
fine.
forget.
I like doing it off the top of the dome, Ryan, because it feels more from the heart, baby.
Facts over feelings.
Oh,
Honorable
Chris Webber.
Weber was good. Yep.
Chris Webber, see? This is why.
But see, Giannis has a ring.
You're right. But Chris Webber was a dog, though, man. I loved Chris Webber. But yeah, you're right. Jermaine O'Neal, too. Amari Stoudemire. Oh,
Jermaine
man.
O'Neal. Oh, it's
Well,
Jermaine O'Neal.
This is what I'll
after
do.
the malice, he was just never the same player, and that's why I didn't have like he fell off. And then who was the other one you said?
Chris Webber.
Stoudemire.
Amari
his knees.
Stoudemire.
His knees, man,
yeah.
let him
Chris
down.
Bosh.
Bosh.
Zach Randolph.
His blood clots. It's just that was unfortunate. Well, Randolph was good, but he was not good as Giannis. I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, it's those were. This is the top 10 greatest power forwards of the 2000s. It's Tim Duncan, Garnett, Nowitzki, Paul Gasol, Chris Webber, Amari Stoudemire, Rasheed Wallace, Jermaine O'Neal, Zach Randolph, and Chris Bosh. That is a good top 10 for the 2000s era.
For sure.
That's
But
awesome. But you're right. You're right. Giannis. Yep. Giannis is top 5. You're right. I don't see Giannis as a power forward. He's more like a small forward to me.
Yeah, but he's a power forward,
Yeah, he's
man.
a power forward, but
Yeah.
like I don't think of Giannis as a power forward.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's like LeBron and KD, small forwards, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because KD's what, 7'2".
Yeah,
He's
and it's
considered
funny
a small
because
forward.
yeah, but he plays like I think right now. I think he's the power forward on the Suns. It's so funny how they
That's weird.
basketball. One thing that, again, this is one thing I do like about basketball nowadays is how interchangeable the positions are now.
Right.
Like how
it's not like this is strictly what you are like
Right.
back in the days where
Right.
you were known as that. That's like why it was hard for me too, where I was like thinking that Tim Duncan was a center, because Tim Duncan did play center too.
Yeah, he did.
You know?
Yep.
So it was just it's hard, man.
Yeah, and that's where like when you think about like when people say, well, Durant could play in the 80s and 90s, I'm like, well, not he could, but he's not going to be Durant because they're not letting Durant dribble the ball. They're not going to let Durant sit outside and shoot threes. He's going to be in the post, and he's going to have to guard Olajuwon. He's going to have to guard Shaq and David Robinson and McHale and all these guys. It's not going to work well for Durant because that's the way they played with 7-footers back then. The freedom the game allows nowadays has allowed 7-footers to develop skills.
Right.
And I think like McHale and those guys, Parrish, all those guys, they probably could have developed similar skills if allowed. But
Yeah,
they
see,
weren't.
it says small forward here too, Ryan, for Giannis.
Small forward. Where?
Like his position. Small forward and power forward.
Yeah, I got basketball. Most people have him as a power forward, the research I've done. So, yeah.
Yeah.
My research notes.
Greatest of the power forwards. Yeah, so, yeah, you're right. It's just when I think of Giannis, I don't think of him as a power forward. That's just me personally, though. But, yeah, Giannis got to be up in there then. You know, so I'd have Paul Gasol. I'd have Tim Duncan, Tim Duncan, KG, Dirk, Giannis, and Paul Gasol.
That's mine as well.
Rings matter, man.
Yeah, and stats, and how good you are at the basketball. Yeah,
that's
all that matters.
Yeah,
and I like the context too of who you lost to. I think that matters. Because you know what I hate? I don't know if I've ever told you this. I'm gonna get a little long-winded here, but not long-winded, totally off topic. But I hate when people are like, well, how far did they get? Instead of who they lost to. Because I don't care how far you get. I care about who you lost to, right? Like if you say, for instance, Dirk Nowitzki lost to the Golden State Warriors, 1 seed, 8 seed. Okay. That's bad, right? Like that's a bad stain on your record.
Sure.
But for like someone like, let's say, Michael Jordan, right? Who did he lose to in the first round of the playoffs the first couple of years of his career? Bird, Parrish, McHale. It's like, oh, he never got out of the first round. I don't care. Tell me who he lost to. He lost to the guys who won the championship or were like in the finals. Okay, well, that's a good reason to lose.
Okay, so then LeBron James going to 9 straight consecutive finals. He lost to those Golden State Warriors teams.
He lost to
LeBron doesn't get
Golden.
So you don't think LeBron deserves a pass too?
I give
to those
no,
Warriors.
no. I think like especially the Kevin Durant, Steph Curry Warriors. I don't hold it against them as much as other people do. I don't. I don't even hold the first time he got to the finals when he beat the Pistons to get there against the Spurs and got swept by Tim Duncan and those Spurs the first time in like 2007.
7, yeah.
Yeah. I don't hold that against him like other people do because I just like, well, come on, guys. Like, think of who he lost to. It's the same. It's the same. Like as a guy who argues for Jordan being the GOAT, I cannot sit there and be like, well, he got swept in the finals, and then say, well, you can't hold it against Jordan that he lost to Bird, McHale, and Parrish. It's
Right.
like you got to be consistent. Like I don't hold it against LeBron
Well,
any more
that's
than
what I'm
I hold it
saying. I
against.
remember Shaq debating this on ESPN. He said how many Jordan lost and how many has LeBron lost.
Mm.
So that's so unfair.
Yes,
If you're
yes,
gonna go back off that too, so LeBron, like Jordan, was the best in his era. There was nobody beating those Bulls teams. That's why Jordan went 6-0. There was no competition.
he was. Well, there was competition, but he was just the best player.
Was there though?
Like, yeah,
Be honest.
yeah.
In the West, that you were like,
Uh,
oh yeah, that team can beat Jordan's Bulls.
The Eastern Conference was the tougher conference for sure, but there's actually I've done a lot of research on this, man. Do you know that the average winning for the finals opponents that LeBron James for is lower than the average winning?
Well, yeah,
that-
I agree with
yeah.
that. The East, LeBron's conference, all those times we was with Miami.
No,
and
I'm talking
Cleveland.
about finals though.
Oh,
finals
finals,
opponents.
finals.
Yeah.
Well, the
So
Spurs.
it was like
I think the only team.
61.2 is the average winning record for Jordan's opponent, and then like 60.8 was the average record for LeBron's opponents. So
Oh.
it's not that far off, and Jordan technically would have a tougher challenge of the finals opponents if you go just based off that, which you shouldn't. But I'm just saying that would be the argument.
Well, like you said, the Spurs better. Those
Better
KD
than what?
Warriors teams were better than any teams Jordan faced in the finals.
Nah, like I mean,
Michael Jordan couldn't get to the finals. He needed help. LeBron took a 07 Cavs team that should have never went to the finals.
And this is where I say it matters who you play. The Eastern Conference was so weak when LeBron took that team to the finals. This was before Garnett and them joined forces. The Pistons, I love the Pistons, the go-to-work Pistons. That was their biggest challenge, and they were kind of over the hill at that point.
Morning,
They had
Avery.
no longer, hey Avery, they no longer had Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace was no longer on the team, which was their defensive, stopper at the time, and he was gone. I think they replaced him with Antonio McDyess.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that.
So like it
Well,
wasn't the same team.
But I don't
So
think
it's who you play. It's partly who you play.
who did LeBron play those first two other rounds before the Eastern Conference?
The Wizards, I think, and
Gilbert Arenas Wizards.
yeah.
You got to look back at who he played and what was their seed. Cleveland seed that year. I know they weren't like a number 1 or 2 top 2 seed. They were like a 4th or 5th seed, weren't they?
Let me look for you. I think they were 4. They were 4. Let's see.
They were 50 and 32.
Yeah. They beat the Wizards, the Nets, and the Pistons. Yeah.
Who's on that Nets team?
I think that was Kid
Oh
Kid
man,
Richardson and Vince Carter. Vince Carter was on the team. Richardson and Kid. Yep. And then
okay, I'm gonna have to do some digging onto that.
yeah, we'll have to do this a different day because I think anybody that was listening to the podcast is like, okay, this is boring now.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we'll again, this is a good debate, but it matters who you play. So I think it's still an accomplishment, but it's like your road wasn't tough to get where you got. You got there. That's awesome.
Right.
But I'm not also going to hold it against him that he lost to 3 or 4 Hall of Famers. Like the same, I don't hold it against Jordan. So that's sort of how I feel about it. I just think it matters who you play, not how far you get. It's like never mind. I'm not going to bring it up because
he said, why isn't Giannis on this graphic?
We do have him in our top 5, Avery. While
Current.
Giannis is not current, yeah,
not all time yet.
Not yet. I think he's 6 for me right now, all time. But Giannis isn't on this graphic because I picked a random picture and he just did not make the cut on that picture. I didn't make the graphic, Avery. Yeah, boo! What a loser! What a loser!
No, but it's true though. Giannis is in top 5 right now.
I think he
will be though when his career's said and done.
Yeah. Longevity now. He needs the longevity of greatness. He's only been great for 6 years. So it just needs to be longer time. Than that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all.
Yep.
He'll be there, but I still have him 6, which is pretty good for like the 6-7 year run.
Yeah, I have him 6 too.
Yeah. So
over Karl Malone.
Avery, you missed it. We talked about your guy, Morant. I also brought up your... Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.